This video goes out to everybody who wants to be able to do a full normal push-up with good form so that in case they are falling and don't want to smash their faces into the floor, they have the arm, chest, wrist, hand, everything strength to be able to do a push-up in reverse and stop themselves from catastrophic injury. This is also for people who are trying to do push-ups because they just want a little more arm muscle or because you're just trying to develop a little bit of mastery of your body. Whatever your reason, it's all good. The problem is if you have hand and wrist pain and you can't even get into the position that allows a push-up, you might feel really discouraged and you're not going to be working on building the shoulder, the arm, and the chest and all that good stuff because you feel like, oh, my body is not meant for this. But your body is in fact meant for being able to do push-ups, but you might have to do some workarounds first. So let's talk about the workarounds so you can build all this strength, and then we'll talk about some things you can do to improve your hands, your wrists, and your fingers' ability to tolerate that push-up position. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna assume if you're on this journey and your hands and your wrists feel so bad you can't even do a push-up yet, you're gonna wanna start off with something like being on your knees when you do the push-ups and using some sort of block or cushion or something you can hold on to that allows you to keep your wrists from going into that bent position. For now. I say for now because in the future, you better be able to get that, or you want to be able to get that. So don't use this as an excuse for like, oh, I'm never gonna do that. My wrists aren't made for that. You're gonna work on that, but we're gonna talk about it at the end. So we've got our workaround. We've got yoga blocks or something similar, and this allows you to reduce the amount of bend in your wrist, okay? So I'm here on the edge of these blocks, and that's allowing me to put pressure down through the palms as I go down into the push-up, right? So if I didn't have those, I'd have to be like this, and then I have to get like a right angle at the wrist, and for you, that's probably not so comfortable. So this helps you reduce the angle. If you have better balance and confidence in your balance, you could also go like this and have the blocks be a little more wobbly, but if you're just starting off with push-ups, this is probably not the orientation you want on your yoga blocks. Now, yoga blocks, if you have them handy, they're an okay option, but they're not gonna totally remove the bend in the wrists. For that, a simple solution is to either go out and get a parallel set or like push-up bars, which are okay, but I personally have never owned the push-up bars because that's such a single-use item. If anything, you get those gymnastics parallettes, or if you've got dumbbells lying around the house, I highly recommend just using those as your push-up handles. Your dumbbells should be pretty sturdy and stable, and you should be able to put your full body weight over them, and your wrists are barely going to need to bend as you go down into the push-up. It's kind of like doing a neutral grip bench press. So your hands and wrists are like this, and then you're pushing like that. So super simple hack so that your hands and wrists are not the limiter. Your wrist flexibility is not the limiter for your push-up training, okay? So again, you're just starting off. You start off on your knees, you're down like that, or you could even have these on an elevated surface to help you get familiar with the motion and get your arms, your chest, and your shoulders used to the motion. But we're not done yet. Ultimately, you want to be able to do a full push-up with your hands on the ground without any extra assistance from a dumbbell or handles or anything like that. So how do we get our hands and our wrists used to that? There's a couple things we can do. Number one is to just start off in a very regressed position. So I'm just gonna sit back like this, and you can see this angle is now obtuse. It's bigger than 90 degrees. Do you remember that from high school or middle school or whenever you learned that? We want this obtuse angle. When we're doing the push-up, we're going into an acute angle. So we're not gonna start there in the acute angle because that's painful for you right now. So we're gonna start in the obtuse angle and start heading towards 90. You might already feel like it's uncomfortable as you approach 90 degrees. Fine, it's okay, be patient. It means that the muscles of your hands, your wrists, your fingers, everything, your forearm, they just don't know how to be here. So you're gonna go there and you're gonna breathe. You're not gonna push this so that it feels so intense you can't breathe. You're gonna hang out there. You're gonna pay attention to the sensations in your forearms and in the backs of your hands. And you're just going to get used to them. You're going to stay here for 10 seconds, 20, 30 seconds, whatever feels like it's safe and tolerable. And then you're going to build up time. Okay, so right now we're hanging out. And then when it feels like, yeah, you know, that's enough, you just come out, relax, wiggle your fingers, gently shake out your hands, let everything recover for 30 seconds to a minute, and then you're going to do it again. Okay, so then you're going to shift back into that position. Hopefully you can go a little bit further this time. Not even like 20 degrees further. I mean like a little bit further. Relax. Get those muscles used to it. Remind yourself to ATM, always think muscles, because this isn't about your bones, unless you have a very rare situation. This isn't about bones. This is about muscles figuring out how to coordinate a bone position. Okay? And then you come out of it. Take a little rest, relax, and then on this next one, after you've, again, rested and relaxed, you can start to think about using muscles in this position. So you go into a reasonably comfortable but somewhat challenging position where you can still breathe, and there are some contractions you can use now. One is to press down into the floor with your fingers and your palms. In other words, I'm going down, I'm pushing down while not allowing the angle here to really change, right? So I'm here, I'm pressing down, I'm using the muscles of my fingers, in my palms, in my forearms, and then I relax. So I'm just getting used to firing. I'm going to do it again. Fire those muscles and relax. This does not have to be 100% effort contraction. In fact, it should not be. This should be like a 10 to 30% contraction when you're first starting. And then as you feel comfortable and safe and confident, you can start to increase the intensity of your contraction. You can also even increase the duration of the contraction. So as you get better at this, you can feel the right muscle fibers firing. You can hold these contractions for 10, even 20 seconds just to get things used to working in that position. Because why? Because when you're in a push-up, those muscles are actually having to control this position for your hands and wrists, right? So the more you can get them used to firing in that position, the easier it's going to feel when you start getting into the real push-up, okay? And as you develop more range of motion, you can just start walking yourself forward and leaning further into this more and more acute angle. This angle starts becoming obtuse, okay? So you're just gradually going into it. Another thing you can do is work on stretching your fingers. So this is actually a big one that helped me a lot in the past, and which I probably need to do more of. A lot of our lives are spent doing this, tippity-tap typing, or clenched around a phone and then smashing with our thumbs. All that stuff really can shorten up the muscles that cross through the palm that control our fingers and that go all the way into our forearms. So you can work on gentle finger stretches, thinking about having the wrist bent like this while you're pulling. So you're creating tension across the entire length there. And again, don't do this super hard. Don't hurt yourself. You just want to get used to that position. You want to feel those muscles, those muscle fibers, those tendons, figuring out how to lengthen gradually. And that all starts with being able to sense them accurately. If you can't even sense the stretch in the right place, then that's where you want to start. You want to be able to feel some sensation through the tendons, through the fingers, and get that range of motion to open up while feeling the right stuff opening up. If you go like, jam, and then you just feel something yank, twang, and pull somewhere, you did it wrong. You want to go slow, hold 10 to 30 seconds, and then you relax. You can also use the contractions the way we talked about earlier. So you can be firing into the resistance and then relax it. Fire and then relax it. Another thing you can do is work on contractions that go the other way. So in this case, instead of just stretching it and then firing against the pull, you can also, I'm not sure which hand to show this on. So let's say I've got my hand like this. I can bring another hand behind and then just fire like I'm pushing into this hand, right? So these muscles are firing as I push into it. So that's helping me use the muscles on the back of the hand to create extension of the fingers, extension of the wrist, right? So I'm just giving myself something to push into, firing these muscles back here as I pull into my own hand. Okay, we can also do a modified version of that when we're doing our hand stretches here. We could go into a tough position and just think about, oh, can I lift the fingers up while still keeping the elbow straight? You might be laughing at me because I'm like grunting so much to do this, but it's really hard. So you might need to back out of it a little bit and then, yeah, keep pulling those fingers up and you're gonna feel some burn on the forearm. Ooh, yeah. The key with all of these exercises is to be patient, because if you are a little too aggressive, you can easily strain the muscles of your forearm, your wrist, or your hands and fingers. So just take your time. When you're working on your push-ups, use some sort of assistance so that your hands and wrists don't get battered and broken. Use whatever you have to build your upper body strength so your wrists are not the limiting factor, and make sure that you are training your wrists and your hands to improve their range of motion and their strength in the push-up range of motion, so that when the time comes and you are ready to start training a full push-up, your hands and wrists are not the limiter and you'll be able to go down to the floor comfortably and safely. And then when that day comes, when you are walking and you trip over a Lego set and you need to catch yourself, you'll be able to do it because you had been training your hands, your wrists, and your push-ups. And you will be the hero that day. Okay, maybe that was a little over dramatic, but you will feel pretty good that you didn't smash your face into the floor or break something when you hit the ground. And that is gonna feel really good. If you have problems improving your push-up because of shoulder pain, make sure you check out the description box, because I've got resources for you. And I do encourage you to check out the shoulder fix at uprighthealth.com/shoulders. There will be a link in the description box. It is a comprehensive program to help you retrain and rebuild your shoulders so that you can do stuff like push-ups. But I've also got some free videos that I will link to down there as well that'll help you with your shoulder pain when trying to do push-ups. So hopefully those help you out. Let me know how all the tips in this video helped you out by dropping me a comment down below. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks, life shouldn't.